Welcome to Satsang. Quite a few people ask me, they say, I've been doing spiritual practices, meditation for a while, but I still don't feel safe. It's something that stays with me most of the time, this feeling. Or even people who are financially well off, they ask, no matter what, you know, I don't feel secure. I have this feeling with me all the time. They said, because even though despite I'm comfortable financially, yet I still feel I'm going to die. Getting on in years. He's only 55, this particular person who asked me that. And 55 to me is very young. Anyway, so what we're going to discuss today is a very important subject, and I'd love you to really pay attention. Okay, because this subject, if followed through, will actually bring this subject we're going to talk about, it will bring security and peace and safety, inner safety. Okay. Before I'll tell you what the subject is, let me give you some facts. Just a few days ago I was reading on the internet, there was an article, a very interesting article, and it's about the United States survey on mental health, on emotional health. So the Department of Health and Welfare made a study, and they came up with the following statistics, that 25% of the nation's health is emotionally unhealthy, and less than 1/3 are called normal. So that's quite something. So in view of these facts, and when asked, what is the result of this? And of course the people say, well, it's stress. It's stress. Okay, and this word stress is very common among doctors. Oh, it's stress. You see? If a psychiatrist feels that the stress is becoming a little too much, then we give it titles. You see? Maybe bipolar, or manic depressive, or borderline personality, and so on and on and on. But here is one thing that nobody ever tells us. What is stress? What do you feel is stress?
It's our ability to handle life.
All right. Anybody would like to tell me what you feel stress is? I've never seen it anywhere described this way. But it is a fact. It is self-concern. Ego concern. That's all it is, stress. When there is absence of self and you're filled with love, whatever you're doing, no matter how hard you work, you won't be stressed. See, and if you are, you'll handle it very well, because love will take care of it. But we'll go into the subject in a little while. A few years ago, a guy confronted me. He was new to the Satsang, and he said, Burt, you know, you've had many experiences. You know, you started in 1973 with the vision of Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi, and he said you've had other experiences. He said, but tell me the truth, okay? With all these experiences, what has come about of it? What is it that stays with you? What experience actually stays all the time with you that you can say, you know, you're feeling okay? And immediately, without hesitation, I said, what I've experienced, what I've learned, is to trust the truth that I am. You see? And that is the subject today. To learn to trust, and how to awaken that trust. You know, after my other experience that I've had in the year 2000, I came up with a system, and I called it super sentience. And I was so fascinated by this, using the system and getting to trust who you are, getting to know who you are, and trusting that, because everybody is that. if you find it in yourself, you'll see that everybody is the same. We're all one, right? So what I became very interested in is, one time I was reading the sage Gurdjieff. It's a Russian sage. You've heard of him? Okay. And he used what are called the soul types, enneagrams. And in them, people discover there are only 9 in all people in the world. Everyone belongs to one or the other. And what they all have in common is that they have lost trust sometime in their childhood, in this lifetime or the lifetime before or whatever. And because of losing that trust, they've developed certain complexes, certain idiosyncrasies, blocks, addictions, and fears. Okay? And it's an amazingly accurate thing, and I took to it like a duck to water, and I apply it in all my super sentient sessions, and I find it extremely interesting. But what is interesting about it is that not only they have lost trust, maybe they weren't loved enough, maybe the parents were divorced, maybe a single parent, family, or the reason could be so many. Okay, that causes this emotional ill health. But what I found most interesting is not only losing trust, but according to the trust that you have lost, you have developed a hunger, a spiritual hunger. And the spiritual hunger, we'll call it a need that everybody has. And when you deal with this need, you begin to trust. But I'm going ahead of myself here. So there are 9 types, and these 9 types are: the first one, they have a great need for perfection. Number 2, they have a great need for love. Number 3, they have a great need for accomplishment. Number 4, they have a great need for self-identity. Number 5, great need for knowledge. But they're all searching the same thing, okay? It's all different ways of getting to oneness. Number 6, security. The need for security is very strong. Number 7, the need for future planning. Number 8, a need for control. And the man who had asked me, Bert, what have you learned through your experience? You must have been an 8. They're very aggressive. Number 9, the need for harmony. Okay? Now you might say, how do these needs create blocks? Because the moment you have a need, you are telling yourself, I don't have what I want. You see? For example, if a person has a need for love, what happens? They probably have low self-esteem. I want somebody to love me. I want a relationship. I want a lover. I want to feel, so they make me feel okay. I feel good having someone, you see? Okay, so, but they haven't found themselves yet. Now, people often ask, but if I find myself and I love that which I am, which is not the ego, but that true, that essence that I am, if I love that, will I not be needing anybody? You won't be needing anything, but you'll be loving everything. So everything is okay, and if you happen to be in a relationship, it will be a very beautiful relationship. You see? So now we know, and we've discussed, the word is trust. Okay, now here comes the million-dollar question. What is trust? I'd like you to say anything. It doesn't matter. There's no right or wrong.
Everything's okay.
Hmm?
Everything's okay.
Everything is okay. Oh, that's not bad. Okay, yeah.
There's only self-trust. Like there's only to trust your existence.
To trust your existence, the fact that you are
like
existence
you don't trust,
itself,
yeah,
right?
you trust here.
Yeah. Okay, but what is trust itself?
Openness.
Hmm?
Openness.
Yeah, that's another beautiful word. Openness. Okay. I'd like you to keep feeling. Okay, what is trust? Everything that you've said is okay, Okay, but we're still not explaining what trust actually is. What does it feel like? Because it is not an emotion. It is not a thought.
It's confidence.
It's not
that
something.
having
It's not something that you can feel per se.
No, trust feels spacious.
Trust is spacious, isn't it?
Yes.
So it's not even a feeling.
No.
It's a being. You see? Trust is a mystery. Trust is non-linear, because that has nothing to do with past and future. It is, you totally trust that now is all that there is. You see? It is also non-dualistic. There's no duality in it. Trust is a very incredible word when you get to know it. You see, some people say, well, it's a belief. No way. Beliefs can be wavered, beliefs can be lost, beliefs can be changed. Some think it's faith. It is not faith. Faith, you can say, I have faith that I will never die. I have faith that nothing will happen to me. But the moment something starts to happen, you start to quiver. Start to have doubts. But trust, once it's awakened, is never lost. Never. Because it's not something. You see? In a little while, remind me, after we've covered this whole talk, because there's a little bit more I want to say. There's something, technique I would like you all to do. I'll give you a piece of, anyway, which creates a feeling of shifting within you. But it won't be for you people who are watching this video. It's only for the people here. Okay, so trust is a word that is very, very hard to define. I'm trying to find words to it. When I say it's not a feeling, I mean it's not an emotion. But it's a knowing. It's a knowing. Just like a child automatically trusts his father. You know, maybe in the beginning, you know, he holds his father's hand, and to him, he's a Superman. You see, there is that innocent trust. But that trust is easily crushed because it hasn't been realized. It's an innocent, but not fully realized, fully activated yet. But when it comes through awakening, when it comes through knowing, then you never lose it. So, next we're going to discuss how to awaken trust. Oh my God, aren't you excited?
Yeah.
I am. And incidentally, as far as awakening trust is concerned, I made some videos, and everything on the table is free, except I appreciate the donation, you know, but it's not a must. Also, I put this reading that I did from A Course in Miracles, which is excellent for awakening trust. And I also put it on the YouTube, which is already on now. It's number 9. Okay. Now, what awakens trust is called forgiveness. Now, forgiveness has been compared to surrender, letting go, acceptance, allowing, and all these different qualities. But I like the word forgiveness because, again, we go back like trust itself. It is non-linear. Now, do you know what I mean when I say non-linear? It means, see, we live in linear time. The brain is linear. Linear means that we are always functioning from a succession or a sequential order of events. This happened, and from this happens this, and this, and this, and this, and then we say what happened before, oh, that was yesterday, that was before. Or what hasn't happened yet is in the future, okay? Non-linear doesn't have that. It's now, always, okay? It has no time consciousness in it. Non-dualistic is the same way. Is very similar. Non-dualistic means because in order for creation to be, for us to experience ourselves, it's through duality. You see? Duality is made up of two opposites, human and being, male and female, right brain, left brain. Okay? Up and down. They both need each other, front and back. Okay? Right and left. So this duality has an opposite. Non-duality is that something which defies explanation because it has no opposite. You see? And when something has no opposite, the mind goes blong. You can't think anymore. Okay? You stop. It is through stillness that you begin to experience the timeless essence. So forgiveness is the same way. You see, when we think of forgiveness, we think we're forgiving someone or something for what they have done, or for what they've done. But the real forgiveness, which is quantum forgiveness, which is nonlinear forgiveness, means that when you look at it, you'll find there's nothing to forgive. Okay? So that is the important thing about forgiveness. It is seeing very clearly that since we're all one, and since everything is now, then there is nothing to forgive. So you don't say, I am going to forgive it. It's simply that just there's an instant seeing that nothing is taking place. Nothing that is anybody doing anything to you. Now, you might say, but Burt, if this brings trust, I can understand that it would bring trust, but it's going to take me a long time to come to the point of that understanding. True. True. But you see, I made an audio that if you listen to it every night, I can guarantee you that within 3 months, it will become a natural way of thinking, a natural way of doing things. Okay? Because it's a reading. I mean, I didn't do it myself. I took it from the course, but when I saw it, I thought, wow, this is perfect. I've got to do this, you know, reading it. Okay, so are there any questions about forgiveness and how it brings about trust? Why does forgiveness bring trust?
Well, it's such a clear understanding, a clear realization that how could you not trust the origin of that?
Oh, that's beautiful. That is very beautiful. Exactly. Because you awaken that understanding, there's nothing to forgive, there's nothing to let go, there's nothing. It is all clear, it's all oneness. It brings you closer and closer to that oneness. So every time you forgive, it brings you closer to that oneness. As it brings you closer to that oneness, you begin to see there's nothing else. That's trust. You see? And that's who you are. See, the greatest mystery, I think it was Jesus who said it. I heard it years ago, and but that statement stayed with me. It says, the greatest mystery is how Christ lives in every heart. Okay? So Christ means the essence of you, which is the oneness itself. Okay? And so you say, I am. You know, I am. And you figure anything that happens, it happens to me, and I don't care what happens to you. I don't care what is, you know, I cannot tell what is happening to you. But then you will find, as you begin to expand more and more in your awareness, is that every human being on this earth is exactly like you, feels the same and thinks the same. So if we're all the same, then that very understanding that we're all the same, it begins to expand you to the point where you actually begin to forget yourself. As to the extent that you begin to forget yourself, there's confidence, there is trust, you see, there is love, there is peace, there is understanding. It's automatic because it's a very simple process. So this is what forgiveness does. It's miraculous. And as a matter of fact, when people have something physical, mental, or whatever, and they completely forgive, they begin to see changes. I've had clients, they tell me that they've had these. For example, recently I had a woman, and she was suffering from migraines for years. And she said nobody could heal her. Nobody. And then I found out that she harbored so much grievance in her heart, so much, you know what the grievance is, eh? You know, you talk to, you know, you have this going on inside you. And so I worked with her to forgive this so-called enemy that she had in her mind. Well, one day we had a long session, and she didn't want to forgive. And then I said, well, then forgive the fact that you don't want to forgive. You see? So she said, oh, I like that. Okay. So we worked on that, because you always have to give yourself the level at which you are at. You cannot jump. You have to have compassion enough that the level you are at is perfect for you. Why? Because that's the level you're at. You see? So when you work with that, it automatically increases. So anyway, so one day she came over and she said, Burt, and her eyes were bright, radiant, she's looking so good. She said, Phil, I feel so great. She said, Burt, I finally realized, and I forgave, and I haven't had a headache. I haven't had migraine. It just went away. Now this is just one case. It's not an isolated case, but just an example. Okay? So when we forgive, miracles do happen. In fact, it's been said that the Course in Miracles is based on forgiveness. That is the miracle, the forgiveness itself. That when you forgive, something wonderful happens. I remember when I was 8 years old, I was an altar boy, and the priest abused me sexually, and it left an emotional scar for most of my teenage years, or, you know, till I was 17 or so. And anyway, to make a long story short, I had an out-of-body experience. I had a beautiful experience, and I forgave this priest. I began to understand that he was suppressed sexually. You know, he had to be celibate when he didn't want to. You know, so can you imagine when you're sexually suppressed, that can lead to real problems. Okay. And so I began to understand so much. The moment I released him, in 1 year after that, I grew so much emotionally in every sense of the word, because it's an incredible thing. Now you might say, well, where does forgiveness come in? Like, what about when I think negative thoughts all the time? What about that? Forgive them. Okay, how do you forgive them? Okay, I'd like you to really listen to the recording, please, and it's on YouTube too. But I'm going to give you as much information as I can. You deal with something by actually looking at it. Now, when I say looking, what I mean is this, that when you look at something directly, okay, you see the opposite of it. So if you look at something negative, you will see the positive. I'm going to share with you a little picture here, and we're going to have a little experience in shifting our perception. Okay, so this is the shift that we do. For example, if you're looking through the window, okay, and it's glass, and then all of a sudden you see a little insect crawling up the window, and you look at it. The moment you look at the little insect, did you see how the outside goes out of focus? Okay, so therefore you stop looking at the insect. As a matter of fact, you don't even know there's glass there, and you look straight and you see the whole, the whole space. Okay, why? That's called a shift. All right. Now that's what awakening is. It's not something you're going to attain. It's not something you're going to have tomorrow. It is a shift. You see. So, for example, right now, let's have a little shift. Okay. Before I give you these pictures, so that people listening to this video can participate too. Okay. When you think about yourself, how is time into it? Why is there time into that? When you think about yourself, there is time, right? How is time there? How do we create time? By thinking about ourselves.
My age.
Your age is one.
Memories.
That's right. Two.
Birth and death.
Birth and
As you
death.
get older, death is
Right? You think you're the body. See? You see? Right. So that is in there all the time. It's there all the time. And because it's there all the time, we don't even know that it's there all the time. It's me. It's happening to me. I am thinking. They're feeling about me. Me. You see? But that's just an idea that's being conditioned because there is no me. There is only I am. You see? So now, just for a moment, close your eyes. Just for a moment. Okay, now with your eyes closed, I would like you to ask yourself this. What am I right now? Right now, what am I? Feel it. Don't try to figure it out, because if you bring your mind into it, you're going to bring yourself into it. Just feel it. What am I? Now tell yourself that the moment you open your eyes, you're going to see what you are. Okay, open your eyes. What did you see the moment you opened your eyes? Beyond time and space, beyond past and future. What is it that you saw the moment you opened your eyes, that you are? Say anything.
Here. Right here.
Fear?
Here.
Oh, here. Oh, hey, beautiful, Terry. Okay. Yeah, what else?
I saw a vast, like my peripheral vision went like this.
Okay. Excellent. You see, this is it, that's all you see. You don't see anything, you just space. Here. Nothing in particular. You disappear. You disappear at the moment. What am I? I'm just aware. Here. You see? And that awareness does not belong to you. It is the oneness acting as you. When you forget yourself now, and you sit, and you listen, and you be, you are the oneness. You didn't achieve it. You didn't get any place. You're just allowing it. And that's oneness. That's the love. Okay, so we'll stop here and we'll do this technique. Okay, just hold on. Okay, namaste.